Hello everyone, my name is Dylan Alvarez, owner of Light Up Media. Okay, so I tricked you. I know you totally believed me there for a second. Me and Dylan, we just look so much alike. You're not in this video. You're gone. I replaced you. I replaced you. Hey everybody, my name is Kamerun Stanton and I am a professional filmmaker here at Light Up Media. And I'm here to talk to you about Storytelling 101. Now, you may be wondering, what are my qualifications to talk about storytelling? Well, I'll have you know that Steven Spielberg taught him, one of my best students. Air Con, yeah, you remember that movie. I wrote that, based on a true story, thank you very much. Batman and Robin, my magnum opus, absolutely no negative reviews on that. I wrote that. That's right, you're welcome. Okay, no, but in all seriousness, I'm not an English major or a professor in storytelling. I'm simply somebody who's passionate about it. I took part in a 48-hour film competition. I wrote the script and helped direct it. We ended up winning first place. I've been a part of several amazing narrative projects. And to top it off, here at Light Up Media, what we focus on is telling a company's story. So with all that out of the way, let's dive on in and ask a very important question, and that is, what is a story? A narrative tell or story is any account of a series of related events or experiences, whether non-fictional or fictional. Now, stories can do a lot of different things, but they primarily either entertain, inform, or inspire. And the best stories do all three. And this is true regardless if the work is fictional or non-fictional or anywhere in between. Take Star Wars, for example. You're not really gonna learn anything unique, especially in regards to the real world, but it's an incredibly entertaining space opera. It's a tale that inspires one's idea of good and bad, light, darkness. And it's a tale that inspires the idea of second chance. Now contrast that to the film Joker. It's not a very inspirational piece, but it's extremely entertaining, especially because of Joaquin's performance. And one can argue that it's very informative and reflective of our modern society. Yes, I said the word society. I'm the Joker, baby. Now, if you take a nonfiction piece, such as the documentary Conversations with the Killer, the Ted Bundy tapes, it's not an especially entertaining story, especially if you get wheezy at the thought of murder and all that kind of stuff. But it's incredibly informative into the mindset of this strange individual and to the events that led up to these murders. Now, what about those stories that do all three? Take the film Hacksaw Ridge. It's a Hollywood-produced movie based on the true story of a medic in World War II who refused to kill in the war, but he went on to save 72 men on the battlefield. Because it's a true story, it's naturally informative of the events that took place. Thanks to the special effects and Andrew Garfield's performance, it's an incredibly entertaining piece to watch. And because of the actions of the protagonist, it's an incredibly inspiring tale about brotherhood and doing for one another. So what is it about these stories that make them so effective? Why does it reach us, an audience? It's because of the emotional connection and the relatability of that story. But before we talk about that, we need to discuss story structure. So let's go at the beginning, the setting. You need to establish at least two things at the beginning of every story: your protagonist and the world they live in. In particular, the world that they are in right now. Now this can be literal or metaphorical. Take Luke Skywalker. He's a whiny, coming-of-age kid who wants to see the rest of the universe.
Take these two over to the garage, will you? I want them cleaned up for dinner.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Or take Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. We're introduced to Bruce Wayne and his current mindset. He thinks that he understands criminals. And he believes that all criminals have a logical motive. Gotham isn't the only setting within The Dark Knight. Bruce Wayne's mindset provides the background to the rest of the story. It's his narrow-minded view of the criminal world, which is then challenged by the introduction of the Joker. The introduction of a problem. A problem is introduced that shakes up the normality of the world that we know, or shakes up the mindset of the protagonist. This problem requires the protagonist to answer a call to action. Once Luke Skywalker loses his parental figures, he's forced to make a decision. Stay on Tatooine, the only planet he's ever known, or answer the call to action and join in a greater galactic conflict. This is the key thing that makes pretty much any story relatable. The idea of conflict, problems, because we face problems daily. Life is not life without conflict. We do not undergo growth without it. And that's why the base of any strong story is a good, complex problem. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a complex problem, but it has to be a problem, a conflict that is interesting, enticing. Going back to The Dark Knight, what makes the Joker such a fantastic antagonist is that he's the vice versa of Batman. It's a villain that Batman's never fought before. Any other criminal that he's taken down have been motivated by power, money. Whereas the Joker, it's about sending a message. It's about pure chaos and introducing that. So this shakes up the viewpoint of our protagonist. He's realizing that not everything can be solved with logical steps, because how do you combat an enemy that doesn't follow logic? And so from there, the story escalates. Story escalation can be shown in a variety of ways. It can be shown literally where a villain goes from taking out mob bosses to bombing a hospital. Or it can be presented in a more subtle way. Maybe there is an inner conflict within the protagonist where they have to change their point of view and they're not sure how to go about that. In any case, one thing is certain, the stakes have to be raised. The initial problem has to become bigger than what it was before. This relates to many of us because there's often times where we go to solve one problem and then another issue pops up. And so from this point, we reach the climax, or a solution. Our protagonist either wins or fails. The stakes can't get any higher, and we are forced to deal with a resolution. In A New Hope, Luke has to make the perfect shot in order to stop the Empire from putting an end to the rebellion. The galaxy's chance for true freedom rests entirely on his shoulders. Now, how exactly does this apply to company branding? Whenever you're creating a video for a company, following this story structure will make your videos 10 times more effective. Because that's just it. Whether it's a product shoot, a testimony, a story video, or a hype commercial, you're going to be telling a story. It's going to look different from a narrative project, but you're still following the same structure. Let me go ahead and show you an example from our work.
My relationship with Xander, my son, is everything that a father could dream of. Typically, you may see a kid that wants to do their own thing. They don't want to be home. And with Xander, he loves to be around his father and his family. So the battle for my son started about 9 years ago, 10 years ago. I was scared that I would not be able to experience all of the things with him because of the challenges we were being faced with. My experience with the other attorneys, I felt like it was just basically here, let's just get you through the realm, get you through the motions, and whatever the outcome is, I hope you can live with it. After that, that's when I thought that I had lost the battle. But a friend of mine recommended Jonathan Johnson. There was one day when we were in the court system, and that's when Jonathan Johnson proved to me that he was by my side. Because he stood up for me, I don't feel as an attorney. I feel as a person that believed in what I was fighting for so long. It was worth every second that I was battling for 12 years to know that I could see his smiling face every day. At the end of the day, Jonathan Johnson helped bring my son home.
The number one problem I see in local advertisements is the laundry list, a checklist of all the services they provide. Don't get me wrong, you want to let people know what your business offers and the technical differences that separate you from the mainstream. But at the end of the day, you're trying to reach an audience, and that's not going to connect with your audience, or it's going to connect with very few of them. Understand who it is you're trying to connect to and share your values. That is number one. And the number one way you can show that you can connect to potential clients is by telling your story. A story can be told in a variety of ways, but none more so effective than a film or a video. It really is a combination of audio and visual imagery, which when combined and applied to a story structure has not only effective results, but it very well may inspire somebody else to tell their story. And then that story inspires somebody else. Whether it's a YouTube channel, a narrative film, a brand new company, if you can understand the nature of storytelling and how it is effectively used, then I promise you, you will not be disappointed in the results you get. All right, guys, that's the end of the video. If you think you've learned something, comment it down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it with some of your friends, and more importantly, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to see more. This was really something I was really excited about. You can't really see it because I've edited it down, but I'm not good on camera. I've probably done 50,000 takes for each segment that I've talked about, and I'm probably gonna do more work in, my point exactly. I'm probably gonna do more work in post-production and probably replace most of this with my voiceover instead. But I really enjoyed talking about this. Let me know your thoughts. Again, tell us what you've learned. Tell us a story in the comments down below. All right, guys, until next time, I'm Kamerun Stanton with Light Up Media, and I will see you on the next video. I think that's good. I think that's good. I've never been more nerve-wracked in my life.